You can draw this in Procreate. This is the perfect Procreate tutorial for you if you want to create a birthday illustration. You can totally adjust it to your likings. You can change the colors, the amount of candles, the decoration on the cake, the amount of layers the cake has. So you will end up with a unique birthday illustration. And the great thing is you don't need any experience with drawing or with the app Procreate because I will guide you through every single step. If you want to use the same colors as I'm using, you can find a free color palette linked in the description. Oh, and the canvas I'm working on is 2300 pixels by 3000 pixels. But of course you can adjust that size to your needs. So now if you're ready, let's get started. Let's start by changing our background color. We'll go to our layer menu, the two little squares, tap background color, and then we'll pick this first color in the first row. Then we'll grab a brush. We'll be using the studio pen, which you can find under inking. And for our color, we'll use this one. Third color in the first row. The opacity of this brush should be at 100%, and let's set the size to 20%. And then we'll make an oval. So let's draw an oval like this. Hold your pen in place to make it switch to the quick shape. And then you can tap one finger on your screen to make it perfectly horizontal. Let's go for something like this. Then we'll go up here for the sides of our cake and over here as well. And then we'll make a shape like this, close that, and then drag in your color like this. Then we'll make a layer on top. We'll go to our layer menu and then tap the plus. And then for our color, we'll use this one over here. That's the 7th color in the first row. And then we'll make a shape that's a little bit bigger. We'll make a curve like this. It can be a little bit wobbly. We'll go along the sides and then we'll make some drips here. Go all the way to the right and then close the shape here. Drag in the color. And perhaps we can make the top part a little bit more rounded. Just tidy it up if it's needed. And make sure that you don't have any weird gaps. So you'll have something like this. Now let's duplicate these layers. We can select both of them and then you can drag them onto your canvas to duplicate them. Then let's go to the top two and select these two. Then we'll go to the Move and Transform tool and make sure that it's set to uniform. Make it a little bit smaller. And then move it up like this. Then let's duplicate this again. So we'll go back to our layer menu, drag these layers onto the canvas, and then select the top two. Then go to the Move and Transform tool again, move it up, make it a little bit smaller, and place it about here. Then tap the arrow, and then let's just slightly change the drips on these cakes a little bit. Let's start with this one. That's our middle cake. We'll go to this layer and then go to the magic wand and to liquefy. Set it to push with distortion and momentum set to none. And I have the size at 31, but you can play around with that. And you can drag some of these drips, drag them down or up to just slightly change the drips here. Then let's do the same for the top layer. So we'll go to this one, then to the magic wand, then to liquefy, and then let's push and pull a little bit here as well. Let's go for this. Now I'd like to add some more color to these layers. Let's start with the top layers. And to make sure that we don't go outside of the shape, let's tap the layer and turn on Alpha Lock. Then for the color, we'll grab this one, the color in the second row, And let's make the brush nice and big, perhaps 60%, let's see. That's nice. Now we can rotate our canvas a bit and now make a curved shape like this and color the side of that glazing, icing, I'm not sure what it's called. So you get something like this. Then let's do the same for the other layers. So first we'll go to this one, tap it and turn on alpha lock. And then again, let's rotate. Makes it easier to make a curve like this. And then color that in. And then finally also for this one, tap the layer, turn on alpha lock, and then again, rotate it. Make a curve like this. And then color in that lower part. Now let's also add some depth to the orange layers. Let's go to the bottom one first. And let's also turn on alpha lock here. What you could also do to turn on alpha lock besides tapping the layer and then tapping alpha lock is you can also slide to the right with 2 fingers. It'll turn on alpha lock. Now for our color, let's use this one. A 5th color in the first row. And let's add a red curve here. Let's add some color variety to our cake. Then let's switch to this color, 4th color in the first row. Let's add a little bit of darker orange to the bottom. And then let's move to this color, 6th color in the first row. And let's use that underneath the drips to add a slight shadow effect there. So just follow the drips like this. That gives a nice effect. Now we'll do that for the other layers as well. Let's start with this one. Make sure to turn on alpha lock. Then first grab that red 5th color in the first row. Or another color if you'd like to add another color to your cake, of course. Then add that color like this. Then we'll grab that darker orange 4th color in the first row. And add a slight line to the bottom. And then we'll grab the 6th color in the first row and add that slight shadow effect by following those curves. And then finally for the top one, let's tap the layer, turn on alpha lock, and I'd like to just add that orange here, 4th color in the first row. For some variety, let's add that shadow effect and that curve at the bottom. And once you're happy with this base for your cake, you can pinch these layers together. Just grab them all and pinch. And now let's make a layer on top. Let's tap the plus and create a candle. Let's grab this color, 2nd color in the first row. And let's make the brush smaller. Let's set it to 20%. And then let's make a candle shape. Round it at the top. Then we'll go down a little bit rounded here. And color it in. So the shape should be something like this. Then we'll make a new layer on top of this. Let's tap the plus and we'll set this new layer to clipping mask. You can tap it, turn on clipping mask, and now whatever we draw here will only show up on that candle. Now for the color, we'll grab this one. That's the 7th color in the first row. And now we'll make some diagonal lines just to create a pattern on this candle. And now let's duplicate this candle. Let's select both of these layers and then make it into a group. Close that group like this and then slide to the left and tap duplicate. Then go to the move and transform tool and move this around. Perhaps make it a bit smaller. Place it about here. And now let's duplicate it again. Slide to the left, tap duplicate, go to the move and transform tool. And let's place one here. You can also set it to freeform in case you want it to be a little bit thinner, for example, like this. And let's also change the color for this one. You can do that by opening the group like this, then go to that bottom layer, and we can make it red, for example. Fifth color in the first row. Let's just drag it on there. And now we have a red candle. Then let's close the group again, and let's duplicate it like this, and then go to the move and transform tool to place this one here, for example. And then let's duplicate it one more time, slide to the left, tap duplicate. Of course, you can make as many candles as you like or as needed. Let me place this one here. And then let's just pinch these layers together once you're happy with the placement. Then we'll make a new layer underneath it. So first we need to tap this layer, then tap the plus. And now we are going to make the flames. First, let's grab this color. That's the 8th color in the first row. And let's make a floating flame on top of all of these candles. And you can change the shapes a little bit. And some can be a little bit smaller. And then once you have these shapes, you can drag in the color and you can tap continue filling and tap inside these shapes to fill them. If you are enjoying creating this birthday illustration, then I think you'll also like the tutorial that I shared at Patreon this week. I'm totally into the birthday theme this week because it's actually my birthday, so I felt inspired. Now, if you are struggling to find inspiration or to get your digital drawing and painting skills to that next level, then Patreon is the perfect place to go for you. With the more than 200 tutorials that I have over there, you can really upgrade your skills and get to that next level. So it will be great to see you there. But now let's continue. Now, if the tops, if they're a little bit messy, what you can do is tap and hold the eraser to make it switch to the studio pen. Now you can use the eraser to make those tops a little bit more crisp. You can just carve those parts. Then let's make a new layer on top of this. Let's tap the plus, and then for our color, we'll grab the red, 5th color in the first row, and we'll make the wicks. And let's make the brush a little bit smaller. Let's set it to 4%. And then let's make the wicks. Let's make a thin line up like this. And then we'll grab the 1st color in the first row. And let's make the brush a little bit bigger. Let's set it to 10%. And then we'll make these top parts. And they don't all have to be straight. You can go for something like this. And then let's make a layer underneath this one. First, tap this layer, then tap the plus. And then we'll grab this color, 9th color in the first row. And we'll make a flame shape like this. In each of the flames. Then drag in a color and use continue filling. Tap inside the flames and then switch to the eraser. You can make them more tidy and you can make a little extra flame shape here on the inside. Just like this. Right where the wick is, you can make this little opening. So it'll look like this. Now once you're happy with your candles, you can merge all the layers together, just like this, pinch them, just not with the cake. Let's go back to the cake and add some more decoration. Let's first go and grab this color, first color, only color in the second row. And also if you feel a bit insecure about directly drawing on this layer, you can just make a new one in between. You can just tap the plus and then we can make little shadows underneath these candles. Just a little oval underneath each of these candles. And then I'd like to add some decoration. Let's just add a bunch of dots. Let's start with red. And let's make the brush bigger. Let's go for 20%. And let's just add a bunch of dots like confetti. Or of course you can decorate your cake any way you like. And the harder you press with this brush, the bigger the stroke or the dot will become. Let's also use this orange, fourth color in the first row. Fill in some of those gaps. And then finally, I also want to add some blue. But that's the second color in the first row. And I'm just adding this confetti to the top areas of these cakes. I think this makes it look very cheerful. Now let's also decorate the background. Let's first make a nice underground for our cake. Let's first just pinch these together once you're happy with them. So we have one layer for our cake. Then tap the plus and tap and hold that layer and drag it underneath. Then let's make an oval like this. Hold your pen in place and then tap one finger on the screen to make sure it's horizontal. And then let's make another one right here. Hold your pen in place, tap one finger on the screen. And what you could also do is tap edit here at the top. If you want it to be a little bit bigger. I just want a little edge around our cake, something like this. And then drag in the color. Now, if the color is spilling out all over your canvas, then just turn off your cake and check if the shape is closed. Now let me zoom out. I want some space at the top to add some text. So we need to make our cake a little bit smaller. Let's select both of these layers, then go to the Move and Transform tool. Make sure to set it to uniform and then make it just a little bit smaller. Something like this. Then tap the arrow and then let's go to the wrench, then to add, and then to add text. And then we can write happy birthday and then select all of the text like this. Then tap AA here. And then you can pick whatever font you like. I'll go for Jack Armstrong. And we can play around with the size and with the lettering if you want the letters to be a bit closer to each other. And let's move it up a bit. I'd like to go for something like this. Now for the color, you can select that up here. I'd like to go for red. And then let's just tap done. So now we have this text like this. And I'd like to give it a little outline. Now to do that, you can duplicate this text layer, slide to the left, tap duplicate, tap this layer, and then go to edit text. Let's set the color to this 10th color in the first row. And then tap AA, and then turn on this little icon. And now you'll just have the outline. And you can tap done, and you have your outline text. Then let's add some extra decoration. Let's make a new layer. Let's tap the plus. And for instance, let's make some stars. Let's grab this yellow over here, 3rd color in the first row. And let's set the size of the brush to 10%. And then let's draw a star like this. You can hold your pen in place and then tap edit here at the top. And you can easily adjust your star and then drag in the color like this and use continue filling, tap these areas, and you have your little star. Now we can easily, well first tap this, we can easily duplicate this and then fill our illustration with these stars. You can slide down with 3 fingers and then tap duplicate. You can move it around, rotate it, and you can continue doing this. Tap the arrow here. You can continue doing this. Slide down, tap duplicate until you have a nice amount of stars. And if the sliding down with 3 fingers doesn't work, then of course you can also just go to your layer menu, slide to the left, tap duplicate, then go to the move and transform tool and move it around. Maybe one over here. Let's add one here. And perhaps one over here. Then let's go to the layer menu and pinch all of these together. And then let's vary the colors a bit. Let's grab this blue, for instance, 2nd color in the first row. Let's make this one blue. Perhaps this one as well. And maybe some red stars. That 5th color in the first row. And perhaps this one. And now we can fill the rest of the space with some nice dots. Let's make the brush bigger. Let's go for 50%. And for instance, we can add some red dots. Also on here. And we can also use this light color, a 7th color in the first row. We're just going to fill these areas and create a nice balance of like confetti. And we can also use the yellow 3rd color in the first row. But of course you can do all of this with any colors that you like. And really create your own design here. You can adjust the amount of candles, the amount of layers on your cake, the decorations on your cake. Then some blue. You can also make your cake with a light background, a different font. So the possibilities are endless. I think we have a nice balance. So I'd say have fun creating your own birthday illustrations. Make sure to share them. I would love to see them. And then I'll see you next time for the next tutorial.